Intuitive Insights with your host, Dr. Gloria Warren, is a program that presents topics on medical intuition, holistic opportunities outside of mainstream society, and scientific research as applied today. Topics range from online intuitive readings to interviews unveiling alternative healing modalities and discussing them with inspirational leaders. Dr. Warren is the bridge within holistic arts while stressing the balance between the spiritual and physical self. So now, please welcome the host of Medical Intuitive Insights, Dr. Gloria Warren.
Is this even food? What are we actually eating? And why are we getting sicker? Welcome everyone to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. Today we're diving into a topic that affects every single person. So, the fake food epidemic. Yep, it's an epidemic already, right? And what they're not telling you. They're just sneaking everything into our food. So, because what if I told you that much of what we call food today is not food at all? It's the illusion of food. Let's begin with a simple question. What is real food? Real food is something your body recognizes. It has structure, nutrients, and biological meaning. Think of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, clean proteins, natural fats. These are foods that come from soil, water, sunlight, and life. Now, let's contrast that with what we see today. Is that really what we're seeing? Modern food has shifted. Yep, from farms to factories. You hear it online all the time, actually. There's fake ice cream, fake milk, fake meat. I mean, we can go all day on all the fake things out there. But we now live in a world that scientists call ultra-processed foods. These are not just modified foods, they're engineered products, what I call make-believe food. They're built using refined sugar, industrial oils. Yes, not food oils, industrial oils, chemical stabilizers, artificial flavor systems. And here's the key I want you to understand. These are food-like substances. They look like food, they taste like food, but your body does not fully recognize them as food. By the way, we are going to give you tips of figuring out how or what foods are natural, what foods aren't, and some of the things they do on their labeling as well. So, when the body doesn't recognize something, it struggles very much so to process it. So first, let's talk about chemicals. Okay, harmful chemicals found in our food. We have alternative names and everything too. So high fructose corn syrup, everyone hears about it. What is it? It's corn sugar, glucose, fructose syrup. I think we all know that. It's found though in soda, candy, processed foods. It's hidden to sweeten everything or to thicken it, just as a thickener sometimes. But it can produce insulin resistance and obesity, fatty liver, things of that nature. Alternatives, of course, honey, maple syrup, dates. And we have monosodium glutamate. This is a very dangerous chemical. It flavor enhancer. I'm sure everybody knows. Hey, you go to the Chinese restaurant, check out, see if they have MSG. It's in chips, believe it or not, potato chips, things like that. Soups, fast food seasoning, blends, the seasoning blends. You get them in containers, and you got the powder, or you get them in little packets, and you put them in your soup. Or you got to watch out. You don't really need those, folks. You don't need them. So they cause headache, neural excitation, possible endocrine disruptor. Why are your kids hyper? Why is it just can't sleep? So hit your herbs and your spices. I'm not saying they're perfect. Find out which ones don't have arsenic or lead, or lower levels at least. Sea salt, best salt in the world, I feel. Nutritional yeast, that's always good as a flavor enhancer. It's wonderful. Artificial food dyes, red 40, yellow 5. I'm sure everybody heard about those. Plus blue 1. Of course, they enhance the color. Do we really need them? What about beet juice extract or turmeric or spirulina? or paprika. I mean, we have these things that was in our world today, and why aren't we using them? We're using chemicals instead, chemicals that pollute the environment, that get into our food supply, make us sick. Why are they doing this? It's just a question. I'm going to throw it out there every now and then. Okay, it causes behavioral issues and hyperactivity, allergic reactions in a lot of people. I have an allergic reaction to one of those as well. Sodium nitrate. It's the curing salts. They use them for processed meats like bacon, hot dogs. You've heard about that. Deli meats, they use sodium nitrate. It's a carcinogenic substance. It has nitrocenes, cancer risk, things wrong with it. I mean, a whole mess of stuff. You can revert to olive oil, avocado oil, grass-fed butter. A lot of things there you can go to. So let's just continue on a little bit longer here. Carrageen, how many times have you seen that? It's or Irish moss extract. Everyone hears that and they, oh, this is good. This is good. It's Irish moss. It's used as a thickening substance or emulsifier, but is it really good? It's a dairy alternative for ice cream, deli, but it causes gut inflammation. There's that word inflammation again, and digestive irritation. A good substitute would be agar-agar and guar gum. They're more natural. Your body knows how to handle them. Artificial trans fat, partially hydrated oils. It extends the shelf life, improves the texture, makes things creamier. And margarine, baked goods, fried foods. Oh, guess what? One of the substances, this is not real butter, but what does it say? It says butter. Why did they do that? Causes cardiovascular disease, inflammation, increased LDL levels. So try olive oil, avocado, grass-fed butter. That would be a really nice thing to find. I go to the Amish butter, actually. I like that the best. So you have all these preservatives as well. Sodium benzoate, phosphoric acid, titanium dioxide, aluminum additives. Aluminum. Gee, didn't somebody say that causes Alzheimer's? Yeah. What's that doing there? All of these actually, like titanium dioxide, it's for whitening color. Makes it whiter. And a color additive as well. Why not use rice starch or calcium carbonate? Calcium carbonate, though, oh, warning, sticks to the inside of your arteries and develop and stay there for years and years. And not good, not good. So we're dealing with all these things that, do we really need them? Not necessarily. Then we can go into packaging. But let me look at chemistry for a second here. There's a lot of things that we need to be careful of. I go into plastics in a few of my different shows. So take a look at those. Go online to my channel, Medical Intuitive Gloria, Dr. Gloria. So you'll find it. So one of my biggest pet peeves are styrofoam coffee cups. If I go to the corner gas station, sometimes you end up with a styrofoam coffee cup. And you're like, guess what? Boom. It's plastic lining inside. Helps to prevent the leaks, Oh, yeah, really helps. Okay, so there's microplastics and BPA traces. It's a hormonal disruptor, ingestion of microplastics as well. And by the way, excessive ingestion of microplastics or any ingestions can lead to Alzheimer's. So a paper cup is actually plastic lined. So you may just want to walk around, get your own cup, and look at the seal in your cup. Is there a line that goes down the inside of your cup? Stainless steel cup or plastic cup? Get rid of them, throw them away. Get the one with the line, without the line. Get one that is one whole piece that fits into your cup, because then there's no soldering or any things being added to your drink. So coffee cups, portable cups, water bottles, same thing. Get rid of all the plastic ones. No more plastic. All plastics are not good for your health. Get rid of them. Turn around and actually use glass water bottles. I do. I have one that's got rubber on the outside, so I don't drop it. And then the coffee cup, I always make sure all of them in the whole family, they don't have a seam inside. So packaging, food, body pathways, you got to realize that all these chemicals in the packaging, they get leached in with heat, time. Fat can actually help to absorb that into the food as well. Not good. Then you're ingesting it. Then there's a bioaccumulation factor that gets involved there, and chronic disease. Most dangerous, heating at them, microwaving hot foods, fatty foods, meat, cheese, deli, heating them in plastic, long storage time, sunlight exposure with plastic bottles, high risk chemicals, BPA, BPS, hormone disruption, phthalates, reproductive toxicity. So if you're having trouble reproducing or in that area, think about all the plastics in your house. PFAs cause cancer. These are researched. All the research is out there. References will be at the end. Cancer and immune suppression. Microplastics, cellular inflammation in the cells. We're not talking just in the bloodstream, the cells in the bloodstream or the tissue. We're talking of in your cells. Try and get rid of that. That's not something you can just get rid of. And it just keeps accumulating over time, year after year, after year, after year. So styrene neurotoxicity, terrible, especially if you mix it, if it's piggybacking something crossing the blood-brain barrier. So your food may be organic. Maybe it isn't. But your packaging isn't either. Think about that. It's definitely something to consider. I don't like that idea. Heat turns packaging into chemical delivery systems. You're not just eating food, you're eating part of the packaging of which the food touched. Plastic doesn't belong in the human body, ever. But it's showing up there. Options? Bottle, well, you know, you got to think bottle, can, wrapper, container, all those different areas that you could be picking this up. Let's replace it. Let's replace the plastic bottle with a glass bottle. Yeah, I go into some of these stores, specialty stores, and I'm seeing glass soda bottles. You know, I'm like, wow, they're still doing that. That's wonderful. I go to some other countries, and that's all they have for a reason. Microwave plastic, switch to glass and ceramic. What does it hurt? Why wouldn't you? And then foam takeout, never. I mean, if they bring me a foam container, I'll even ask them, do you have just a piece of like butcher paper or something? Sometimes I'll bring something with me and stick it in there. Go to stainless and glass. Bring it. They're used to it now. Clinical insight, exposure is not detectable, and it's in more than 95% of human blood samples. You know, that's an old fact, actually. That fact there, right there, more than 95%. Actually, that was like from 2021, they did that research study. And now the research study, I think, says they found it in every sample. So you're not immune to getting plastics in your system because it's within everything. You go to a restaurant, what is the stuff wrapped in when they receive it from their delivery system, or they go to run to the store to get extra things? What is it wrapped in? Plastics, pretty much. I mean, I couldn't believe how many things in the store, almost everything is in plastic. So they found them in the blood, they found them in the lung tissue, in the placenta of babies. Placenta. Endocrine disruptors can affect thyroid regulation, estrogen, testosterone balance, insulin signaling pathways. Just think what that can lead to. Fake food or chemically preserved or chemically packaged foods lead to disease pathways. Think about that. Food plus packaging plus environment is total toxic load. I mean, that's why I did this show. My immune system went so low more than a year ago. Doctor was like, I don't understand why. Went in my kitchen, I threw out all the plastic. Hey, it's coming up, by the way. And I'm doing sweats to help get the plastic out of my system and my brain and everything else. Boy, my cognitive functions really improved. It's fantastic. So manufactured foods versus real foods, that's another area. We're going to hit that up in the next session. Meantime, though, let's continue on here. There's so many areas to look at. So let's look a little deeper. Your body operates on biological intelligence. Every cell communicates through nutrients, hormones, electrical signals. Real food supports this bodily system. Real food, not fake food. Fake food does not support the body. It just doesn't. So we are going to take a commercial break. We will be right back. Please don't go anywhere, and see you soon.
Mike Zorich, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorich, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorich has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. Today we are exploring the fake food epidemic. What they're not telling us. I'd like to know why. But where food is no longer designed for health, it's designed for shelf life, profit, craving, and repeat consumption. It kind of reminds me of the 1950s 50-year experiment that was started with dog and cat food. Gee, it sure has shortened their lives. I know a dog that lived over 30 years. You know, it wasn't the thing of the past. That's the thing of modern day age. They got us to believe that every human year is it equals 7 years in a dog's life. Is that necessarily true? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because my cat even died at 24, and that was our fault. We were giving her too many sardines. Don't ask. But shelf life, that's the reason. Profits, reason. It's cheaper for them to use chemicals. It's cheaper for them to manufacture food even, and it's cheaper for them overall because they end up with repeat consumption. They make the foods taste better and better using the chemicals. That's where the epidemic begins. Food's no longer nutrition, it's chemistry. Additives extend shelf life and reduce food quality, enhance taste artificially, and override satiety signals. They disrupt biology, the gut, brain, hormones, and metabolism. So why? Good question. Why these chemicals exist? Like I said, the body impact and pathways, though. Chemical intake, these particular chemicals, create a gut disruption and inflammation. Full body, different areas. Doesn't matter, it creates inflammation. Hormone imbalance. Chronic diseases. You know, the ones that stick around for long periods of time. So here's some things you can swap out. Diet soda, switch them out for herbal teas. By the way, don't use a tea bag. The tea bag itself is tainted. Get some really good, healthy, full leaf teas that you can just take a couple and, throw it in your tea. It'll settle down to the bottom. And consider actually growing some of your own teas. I do. Everybody can do it. You just need a pot of dirt, Processed meats, nitrate-free. Fresh meats. It's hard to figure out the meats, though. We'll go into that later. Artificial dyes. Switch them for plant-based coloring. Beet juice, like I said, it's great. And it's healthy for you. So if it was designed in a lab, your body has to work twice as hard to process it. The modern food system optimizes for profit, not physiology. And every ingredient is either feeding your good health or feeding dysfunction. So It's not what people think. We really need to be careful with what we're eating, everything that you eat. So inside fake food, let's go deeper here. What is actually inside the fake food? Most ultra processed foods, we're going to do the processed foods first, then we're going to do manufactured foods. Big difference. Things they've been sneaking in for the last 20 years. Yep. Additives. By the way, this salted butter that I have here, underneath it's the butter, it says manufactured in plant number 55-366. Manufactured. It's not even butter, but they're allowed to say it's butter. And there's no more real symbols, by the way. You know, in the 90s, they came out with that real symbol. They were seeing it all the way up to around 2010. Oh, if the real symbol on it is real. Did you know there was no actual oversight on a real symbol? You know, it's gone, though, too. Currently, I don't think any of the foods have a real symbol on it. So you need to use deductive reasoning and actually look at every single thing you're buying in that store. Trust me, it's going to be worth your health, your family's health, and even your friends you can talk to. It really is worthwhile. So additives, let's go back to most ultra processed foods. They're built using additives like emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial colors, synthetic flavors. These compounds are designed to stabilize texture, extend shelf life, enhance taste, but not to nourish the body. They don't care what nourishment is. Like folic acid. Oh, bread. Yeah, bread. They put in folic acid. It's good for you. There's folic acid in there. Hey, wait a minute. Chemical folic acid is not good for you. It is not the folic acid you get naturally in your green leafy vegetables and things. Keep that in mind. Got to be careful. Hyperpalatability engineering. That is a science in itself. Food is now engineered to override the natural hunger signals. Through precise combinations of sugar, fat, and salt, they can make you hungry faster and load it up with more calories. So this creates what scientists call bliss point optimization. So in these companies, they'll be like, so what is the bliss point? Okay, and then they'll give figures. Yeah, okay. Your brain responds with dopamine release, reward signals, craving, and reinforcement. This is not by accident. It's designed behavior. Just like in the late 1800s and the 1920s, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. They never used to eat breakfast. This was just to get us to eat more of what they were selling. They also had interest in the egg farms and the pork farms for the bacon. I mean, it was just such a gimmick. So blood sugar disruption, it can also cause. Fake foods often cause rapid glucose spikes, insulin surges, and energy crashes. It leads to fat storage, fatigue, increased hunger. Now, another area, gut microbiome impact. Your gut contains trillions of bacteria. They rely on real food, not fake food. Fake food disrupts this system by feeding harmful bacteria. Sugars. I'm not saying sugar's bad for you. I'm saying the sugars in all this food, which is hidden. I mean, what was it? They did that study on how many teaspoons of sugar was in a can of unmentionable cola. I mean, think about it. So here we have now fake food disruptions, feeding harmful bacteria, reducing microbial diversity, increasing gut inflammation. You know, you see more and more people with very large abdomen. Why is that? It's not always alcohol, like people may jump to the conclusion to think. Could be other problems too, and a lot of times it's inflammation because the gut microbiome has been disrupted severely. And everything else follows because the gut influences the immune system, brain chemistry, even, and hormone balance. So what are we seeing? It's not just poor nutrition. It's biological disruption at multiple levels. Multiple. Do you think they care? They're making their money. I'm not trying to get anybody upset with that. I'm just saying they're making their money. That's all they care about. So it's just food for thought. And it's always, why are they doing this? We already know why they're doing it. So we just need to understand that and see why. So fake food yields to disease pathways. diseases begin. They amplify over time. It's a time frame for chronic diseases where they keep spreading larger and larger in the body. Creates complete exposure. Food plus packaging plus environment equals toxic load. It's really sad. So let's dig deep a little bit here into manufactured foods versus real foods. When food becomes formulated, guess what they're manufacturing? I'm sure online you've heard this. Fake chicken. Chicken. Well, they can still call it chicken. It was made from chicken cells and then grown in petri dishes and then grown in incubators. So it's their version of factory farmed injected chickens. Factory farmed is what they're saying. Made in a factory, farmed in a factory. So what's been altered? The growth acceleration, water retention, common additives, salt injections, antibiotics, hormones, effects on the human body, inflammation, antibiotic resistance. Do we really need that? Antibiotic resistance, we're very limited how many antibiotics we have in this world. And guess what? Bacteria evolves and it keeps needing other discoveries on newer generation antibiotics. And if we are becoming more antibiotic resistant, what are we going to use? I mean, yeah, there's other means of killing bacteria in the body, but this is what the public is used to, are antibiotics. And we need to make sure to protect those and not let them use it on these cells and everything. It also creates the altered gut, which you know that, the microbiome. So real, natural, alternative, pasture-raised, organic chicken. You can tell the difference. Factory chicken is mushy. You cook it, it's mushy. The actual farm-raised, organic, grass-fed, those chickens, the meat has the strings through it, but they're real strings. They're not all the same. And they're all different levels, and they're a little tougher. You got to cut through it. And it's good. It's healthier. And you can taste the real stuff that's in there. So let's move on to meat, beef, pork, processed meats, feedlot raised. It's just what it says. Feedlot raised in a lot of cattle or whatever. Diet, manipulation, preservation, nitrates, and preservatives, a lot of grain. Grain creates inflammation, by the way, too. So it increases your cancer risks and your metabolic dysfunction. Grass-fed, nitrate-free meats. Know where your meat comes from. Some states, they don't tell you. Other states, maybe. Actually, I'm going to be going on a long trip this summer to pick up myself up half a cattle. Lamb. See who actually has animals not far by. See if they sell them and see if they process them for you. Cut them up, put them in the paper and everything. Ice cream, butter, milk, cheese. We can go on and on with this list because that's what it does. It goes on and on. That list is very important. By the way, if you need a copy of that list, it's in my new book. It's going to be released on this coming Monday. So, and let me get that date for you. It would be, let's see here. Monday. Let's go to my calendar. Monday, the 6th of April. It'll be released. You'll find it on Amazon. So, a lot of these others here, ice cream, butter, milk, cheese, those are ones too you're hearing a lot about online. However, we will be looking at those. We're going to take a quick commercial break. How does fake food turn into real disease? Why are we seeing rising rates of chronic illness? That's not just, achoo, I got a cold and it's gone. This is something that continues on and on, months, years. When we return, we'll break down the science behind inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and long-term health outcomes of all this fake food. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom. purpose, passion, power, and peace, all quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals.
Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion on the fake food epidemic. Fake food becomes real disease. Now we connect the most important point. Fake food is not just empty, it's active in our body. And one of the primary mechanisms is inflammation. Here we go again. Inflammation is the body's protective response. But when it becomes chronic, it becomes disruptive. Fake food contributes to chronic inflammation through excess sugars, refined oils, chemical additives. Why do we put so many chemicals? You know, it's like putting the frog in cool water and you slowly warm it up and it gets hotter and hotter. That's exactly what's happening today with all of us. They've been sneaking it into our food supply. I went to the store the other day. I could only find one thing that was natural, and that's right here. Pure and natural, it says at the bottom. Pure and natural. So, of course, I wanted to be sure. So I looked at the ingredients. Ingredients. Cultured cream. That's it. And then they say contains milk. That's it. That's all the ingredients right there. Remember, the less ingredients, the better. So it's something to really consider, that inflammation through excess sugars, refined oils, chemical additives that create gut disruption. These chemicals don't just go in your body when you excrete them through your urine or your stool or sweat or mucus, or they don't just disappear. They get trapped in your cells because your body doesn't know what to do with them. And the gut disruption. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance. We have so many diabetics. It's caused from chemicals, food chemical exhaustion in your system, oxidative stress and cellular damage it also causes. So the damage from the chemicals, it's ridiculous how bad this is. This is an epidemic here, not just in the United States, all over the globe. They're doing this everywhere. And this is where we begin to see disease patterns. Type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's disease. These are not isolated conditions. They're connected through metabolic dysfunction and inflammation. Fake food feeds the process. Let's take one level deeper, okay? Your cells rely on accurate information from food. It's like a roadmap, per se, in your body. But if the roadmap isn't there and they don't know what to do with it, real food provides vitamins, minerals, natural minerals, and phytochemicals, things that your body needs that absorb through the sunlight into the plants, or the animals absorb them. Like we absorb D. Everything absorbs things from sunlight, unless it's fake or grown indoors, you know. But fake food provides signals without substance. And those signals are not ones our body likes. Energy it provides without regulation. It doesn't have the roadmap, and they can go all over. Your cells don't recognize chemicals. Chemicals, not the chemicals they're using in our food, chemicals without biological purpose. This creates what I call cellular confusion. What do I do with it? And they're like, what the heck is that? I don't know. Let's just let it go by. The body doesn't know how to respond. And over time, that confusion becomes disease. It really does. It's not good. Definitely not. So let's continue on with ice cream. Ultra-processed frozen dessert. We love, America loves ice cream. So do other countries. But, when it's got all this fat, sugar replacement, just for shelf life stability, emulsifiers, stabilizers, artificial flavors, it causes gut irritation, blood sugar spikes, inflammation, cream. You could use real cream, milk, eggs, and natural sugar. Body would know what to do with it. So ice cream, there was somebody online. They did a whole show on ice cream, fake ice cream, I think is what it was called. Another one on fake butter, another one on fake milk, another one on cheese. I mean, they're all over the internet. These charts, by the way, like I said, these will be in my book, so you can find that. It's the same title as the show today. So let's think about butter. Margarine, they found out margarine 50s, or, it's a whole big experiment here. United States, people were sent here many, centuries ago because they were sent here as an experiment. And they knew that, but they wanted to practice their freedom of religion as well as, get land for free and things. They thought it would be easier than it was, obviously, but they knew then they needed real butter. So margarine, fake. It's made with fat hydrogenation, trans fat, artificial color, flavor. Probably the same similar stuff as this. Nothing's real in here. Nothing is real. Even the fats aren't real. Causes cardiovascular disease. Did you hear me? Margarine causes cardiovascular disease. Not butter. Margarine. Butter your body knows what to do with. So, by the way, this show is based on all scholarly research studies. If you need a list of that, I can send you a list. I could try and post them in the end of the show when it publishes. So, grass-fed butter, Amish, milk. They are actually making milk from scratch in laboratories right now. Ultra-pasteurized, homogenized milk, protein structures, altered fat breakdown. They're making it from scratch. None of it's milk. It has hormone residues in it, the ultra-processed one, but that's the milk we give our kids, pretty much, the ultra-pasteurized. This is ridiculous. And then the fake stuff they're making, I don't know if there's lactose in it or not. Some of the things they tell us not to eat are the things that keep our immunity up. Meat. Meat has heme iron. It's the only thing in the world that has heme iron, meat. Heme iron is what keeps our red blood count up, develops and protects our immune system, protects our body. Meat. The other thing, lactose. And what are they big on? If I stop drinking milk today, I'll become allergic to it in the next few weeks if I don't drink it at all. But if I keep drinking it, I'm not allergic to it. It's like anything else. You can be allergic to cats, but you have cats for a while and your body actually becomes desensitized towards it. So, but lactose. Then now they have lactate, almond milk. It's almost all sugar and stuff. And they have oat milk, which there's so many glyphosates on oats today. I mean, it's terrible for you. You're not getting lactose in any of those products. So another product they're trying to get us to get rid of, so our immunity drops. Why? I'm just asking the question. So it causes the milk that they're making digestive issues, potential intolerance, and the factory-made milk. I noticed you'll know what the factory-made milk is because on the milk carton it'll say cultured milk. Cultured milk. You don't need to culture milk, but they're growing the cells to culture it, to make more milk. That makes more milk. Okay. The best raw milk, where it's legal, low temperature pasteurization, easily done. They banned raw milk in most of the states. So in many areas of the world, they don't want them to have raw milk. Cheese, processed cheese products. American cheese and American cheese because they gave it to us, but it's only like 47% cheese or milk even. The rest is emulsifying salts and preservatives and oils. What kind of oil? I don't know. It's whatever kind of oil they had that day that was cheapest to buy. Who knows? Reduced nutrient density in these things and sodium overload. The best aged and traditional cheeses. God, I love living in Wisconsin. It was great because of that. Grains. Grains, another area. Yep, grains. Grains, yeah, you heard me. Grains. Refined flour products, fiber. They remove the fiber. They nutrients from it. They bleach it. They add additives to it, expand it. So what does it do? The blood sugar, it causes spikes. Insulin resistance from flour. Okay, so the real alternative is sprouted grains best. Grains in general, even in dogs, it causes swelling in the joints. So what happens in humans? Well, that's a call to action for further research. Somebody needs to research that. Maybe I will. Not sure if I'll have the time right now, though, but if anyone else wants to, grab it. Oils, industrial seed oils. Oh my gosh, seed oils, lectins galore, inflammation. Check with Dr. Gundry on that one. He's online everywhere. Inflammation. I did double check his work. He's correct. Cardiologist, cardiosurgeon, ex-cardio. I mean, he's great. Some of his information is wonderful. Chemical extraction, oxidation is how they get it. And it's a hexane process, deodorization type of thing. You sterilize it. But it causes inflammation, oxidative stress, because your body doesn't know what to do with it. What am I supposed to do with this? It's a juggling act. I don't know. Olive oil, simple. Avocado oil. I don't like my avocado oils from our West Coast. I actually tend to go to avocados in Mexico or otherwise because they spray certain things on their crops that I don't approve of. So cold pressed oils, but I love olive oil. Why not? Coconut oil or coconut fat. Fantastic. So sugar, refined white sugar, right? Mineral removal. They take out the minerals. They put it through chemical refining process. Yes, sugar. Insulin spikes and metabolic syndrome is what it causes. Honey, do honey, maple syrup, dates, coffee. Oh, blackstrap molasses, wonderful in coffee. Old-time remedy to give you energy. They used to give the kids a teaspoon of blackstrap molasses when they had spring fever, they called it, I think it was. Salt. What about salt? They do it but through mineral stripping, but they also use it for anti-caging agents and additives and electrolyte imbalance and things. But sea salt, best in the world. Himalayan salt, there's been a whole thing about salt and some of the problems they have with salt. Be careful with that. Eggs, conventional eggs, feed quality altered. Omega-6 heavy diets, reduce nutrient quality. Do pasture-raised eggs. I have my own chickens. I don't have to worry about it. And guess what? I don't feed them commercialized chicken feed either. They get all the scraps from all the proven organic foods that I have in my home. So my eggs are wonderful, but you can't just buy eggs in the store, especially now. There's something about fake eggs online too. Interesting. Yogurt, flavored sweetened yogurt. There's some there that they have all the sweeteners in there and thickeners and everything. It's not real yogurt, folks. It's sugar loading, artificial flavoring, dyes, stabilizer, gut disruptors, excess sugar intake when you eat it. Plain yogurt. Plain. I like Mideastern yogurt. I find it, and Greek yogurt, or a little touch of real maple syrup, touch of real honey, something, bread, commercial white bread, forget it, throw it away. Potassium bromates in it as preservatives, blood sugar spikes, gut irritation. Frozen meals, get rid of them. Plant-based meals, no, they cause digestive issues and processing overload. Whole plant foods, beans, lentils, add them to your food instead. But these other ones that are processed, they're going to get you sick. Snack food, chips, crackers, terrible. Get an alternative. Teaching concept, food destruction yields reconstruction, and your body can't break it down. Chemically modified, sold as food, Terrible. Causes disease. So amazing. Take a deep breath and remember you can save this and we can move on as soon as we get back from the break. So stay with us. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. We have been talking about the fake food epidemic and what they're not telling you. Yeah, what they're not telling you. There are a couple other areas here I wanted to mention before we move on for our resolutions, but plant-based meat analogs. People are so excited about these things. Oh, it tastes like real meat. It's protein extrusion and flavoring engineering. I did the first one. I'm not going to mention names, but the first one that came out, I did a research on it and I had made a chart. All the detrimental things that these chemicals, so many chemicals, and that's not sustainable for our environment. How come it's taking so many chemicals to make a fake meat? You know, they're polluting the earth, harvesting and making and manufacturing these chemicals and putting them in our food. So what does it do? Soy protein, pea protein, isolates, seed oils, the meat alternative for sustainability. It's not sustainable. I'm the CEO of Sustainability Management Institute. It's not sustainable. Ultra processed load is what happens in your body. Gut effects, bloating, things of that nature. Other gut effects that I'm not even going to mention here. That's a whole show on its own. Alternative, whole plant foods. Don't have processed plant foods. Terrible for you. Another area, 3D printed foods. You heard me right. 3D printed foods. Okay. Food printing technology. It exists. Yes, it does. Protein paste, starch gels. These are all 3D printed foods. That's an area you probably never heard about. Custom nutrition, futuristic applications. Oh, it's so wonderful, they think. We're going into the future with our food supply. Listen, this food has enough earth to feed this, enough food to feed this world 10 times over. We do not need other types of food. We need to not waste our food. American families were wasting up to 45% on the average of food from their kitchen every week. Every week. Why? Because they just don't want to take the time to cook it up differently and make other foods with the leftovers. And you know, what's going on here, folks? What's going on? We need to return to our roots. We need to go back to the way our ancestors did it. Nothing's wrong with it. It's easy. Old leftover soup makes for a great base for a gravy. It's perfect to boil your vegetables in or steam them in. So they say that it's custom nutrition, futuristic applications, structural versus biological, but it's a nutrition mismatch. It causes gut problems and many other diseases we don't even know yet. We are being experimented on. So whole prepared meals, best thing that we can do. Emulsified food systems, food engineering, isolated fats, sugar, proteins. They do it for texture, shelf life optimization, loss of food matrix, alternative whole foods. So now we are going to actually move on here. There's some remedies here I want to give you before we go today, and I think this is really important. Absolutely important, actually. Let me just go back here. Okay. So how to eat real again. You're not expected to do this all the same week. By the way, I was in the store and somebody recognized me last week. I felt so good because they'd been watching my shows. They've been looking at my shows. And he's sitting there with his glass pitcher, his wooden and stainless cooking utensils, and other things for his kitchen. He goes, yeah, we threw away all the plastic. We are tired of being sick. So this is what they did. And I'm like, yay, fantastic. Made my week, made my month. You got to do it. So how to eat real again. Now we're talking about food, though. Do it to your food. Do things differently with your food. So this is where empowerment begins. I'm trying to empower you so you can take control, self-sustainability, take control over your own lives, and make sure you eat the right foods, real food. Read the ingredient list. If you can't pronounce it, don't recognize it, don't eat it, don't buy it, don't put it in your home. Use the one ingredient rule. The closer a food is to one ingredient, the more real it is. Example, apple, egg, spinach, cream. Not cultured cream. That's not real cream. Okay. Shelf life awareness. Real food does spoil. Real food does not look perfect. And that's okay. Fake foods look great. I had some tomatoes one time. My goodness. They were dated 6 months before. Cut into them black. Avoid health halo marketing. Words like natural, low fat, fortified. You don't want low fat. Your brain is fat. You need fat. Simple SWATs, processed food for whole foods, sugary drinks, choose water, packaged meals, choose fresh preparation. So let me leave you with this. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It knows what to do when we give it what it recognizes, but when it's replaced with real food, or you take that real food and replace it with artificial systems, the body begins to struggle. And that struggle shows up as fatigue, inflammation, and disease. This isn't just about food. It's about information. It's about biology. It's about survival in the modern world. So next time you look at your plate, ask yourself, is this real food or something designed to look like it? Thank you for joining me today on Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. By the way, if you have foods you think are all real, put them in the comments below. I'll check them out. Stay aware, stay informed, and stay well. Until next time.
This has been Medical Intuitive Insights with host Dr. Gloria Warren. Tune in each week as Gloria shares over 40 years of experience and yearns to provide knowledge derived from intuition and research. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern.